All right, we're here with Chris Holtby, the British Consulate General. So whereabouts are you from in the UK?
I'm from the south of England, from a small country city called Salisbury that nobody really heard of
I have heard of that.
A few weeks ago when the Russians came visiting. And now everyone in the world knows where it is.
That's all right, puts you on the map.
It's a beautiful place though.
Now, so the visas between Australia and the UK, I understand that the visa situation for the UK citizens, I guess, to come out to Australia is they can apply for a working holiday visa for 12 months, and then to extend that by another 12 months, they have to work 80 days in the country.
That's correct, yeah.
So is that the same system as it is for Australians wanting to head over there on a working holiday visa?
No. We're far more open than that. We don't need people to go. I mean, we'd very much like people to go and work in the country rather than the city. There's no requirement to do that.
Okay.
So the application process for the UK is purely a 2-year visa, and there's no restriction on where you work. And it's work or study, and that's a 2-year visa. The only thing that anyone coming in on one of those visas cannot do is work for themselves.
Okay, so you couldn't open up your own grocer or bakery?
Because then you're getting, if you what you want to do is come across as an entrepreneur or work in tech or various other things, there are specific visas to enable you to do that.
Okay.
But if you want to come on what we call the youth mobility visa, which is the visa for 18 to 30-year-olds, then you need to be working for someone.
Is that kind of why they have the age restrictions of 18 to 30?
I think every country has an age-restricted visa. I mean, you can argue it's arbitrary whether it's 30. I mean, Australia's is now 35.
I did hear that.
So, at the moment ours is 18 to 30.
Sorry, the visa is a 2-year visa, and can you use that at any point in time? So if I went over there to work for 12 months and then came home, could I use that visa 3 years later and use the rest of that, or is it?
No, it's an in one go.
In one go.
Thing. And I know, for example, I mean there are quite a lot of young Australians who work in schools in the countryside. I think in the UK they call them gaps. I know quite a lot of young Australians do that, and so they're in the countryside. But I think they then balance that with, say, being in London or one of the the other exciting big cities like Manchester or some of the others.
Yeah. And so if I was to go, you're saying that it has to be kind of set consecutively the years. So if you went on a gap year, just as your gap year, does that mean you couldn't come back and do another year over there?
Yeah, you can do the same thing, but you could then apply for one of the other visas. So, one of the tier 2 or tier 5, so specialist visas, or a tech visa, or an entrepreneur's visa. There are lots of other visas for working that you can then apply for, but you can't have a sort of double go at saying, well, I want to do
that working holiday again.
I mean, but you can, within that 2 years, come out of the UK and then go back another time during the 2 years and finish it off, but you can't go beyond that.
So is there a limit to the amount of visas that you can apply for?
But you can't hold them at the same time.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you wanted to go to the UK every year for the rest of your life, you can keep applying for visas to work like that if you want to. But I don't think you'd do it.
No.
You'd aim to do it that way. It might be useful to say is that at the moment our youth mobility visas are actually significantly undersubscribed. We have 34,000 available each year, and we haven't been hitting that in the last few years. So actually we're very keen to
encourage people,
see more young Australians
to get out there.
London. I think probably in years gone by, a lot more young Australians thought we have to do this. And still we have a lot, and we're glad to have a lot of young Australians saying we have to do this. But I think a lot of others think, well, we might do something else,
Yeah.
But given it's up until you're 30, actually you can still do some of that. And we really hope we are going to see more Australians going to study in the UK. And particularly we're seeing a lot more UK and Australian universities working together and partnering. And we hope that brings with it not just more research and development, which I think is important, but also more students going both ways.
Is it harder to get jobs because you have that 2-year period coming in, and employers are kind of like, well, it's not, we want to have you for a long time, or is?
Well, no, because I don't think if you're coming on a working holiday visa, you're very unlikely to be coming into a long-term skilled job. If that's the ballpark you're in, then you'll be applying for a skilled
for a different kind
visa,
of visa.
A different kind of visa where you can more or less stay as long as you have the relationship with that employer. I don't
is
think
it the employer sponsors you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. You know, so where would you go if you were an Australian, and where would you apply for that visa? Where would you go?
The good thing is if you put UK visa in on Google,
it does it for you.
It'll show you
where to go.
It's all done online.
Is there a waiting process?
Yeah, but actually the advice I was given is that it's normally within 15 working days that there'll be an answer.
Easy.
The latest statistic apparently is that 97% say a decision is yes. So
are there any?
I can't guarantee everyone who's listening to this will be in that 97 rather than the 3%. But
3% sort your life out.
Yeah, that's a bit harsh. Likely also have to do so. The application is online, but then there is a biometrics centre in Melbourne, and you have to give the biometrics as well. So there needs to be an appointment linked into it, but that's easily done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's here right in the centre. I think it's on Burke Street here.
And so, do you have any final plugs for the UK and why you should go and work over there, or what's your favourite thing? What do you miss most about home?
I think London is the most exciting city in the world. I mean, I love Melbourne. I think Melbourne is brilliant. You can do so many different things.
All right, let's tread lightly.
But I think London surprises at every turn. I mean, and I wasn't born in London, but I've got a house there, and there is so much to do, and there's so much history, but also so much stuff that's really, really new. And the museums are pretty much the best in the world. If I miss anything about Britain, it's gentle green rolling hills. That's where I grew up.
For hill walking.
I don't need to walk. I can sometimes just sit and sip a beer or whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well,
so go and see some of that.
Go and see London. It sounds amazing.
And the rest of Britain.
And
you've got to see the rest of Britain.
obviously.
And even go and particularly go to Salisbury.
All right. Well, thank you very much for this, Chris. It's been absolute. What should I, Mr. Consulate? Is there a proper term to be Chrissy, Sea Dog, Holtby, Mr. Holtby?
Chris, I think it's
Chris works. Okay.
I'll try the Sea Dog thing later.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.